Hello everyone, this is Dragon Sky bringing you another episode of Kerbal Space Program Career Mode. Now, when we last left off, we were building a ship to refuel and fix our Duna ship in orbit already. And we called it the Duna ship Bandaid Express. Now, if you're just joining us, this is a refueler slash, well, basically like the name implies, Band-Aid. We are bringing up extra, what are they called? There we go, extra reaction wheels and extra fuel to attach to our ship. Another lander, which is an emergency lander, robotically controlled, and an extra. Well, this is the actual refueling section that's going to fill up our tank on that ship that is partially empty. One thing I forgot to put on was stability enhancers. So we'll fix that problem real quick, or short sight rather. Oops, forgot symmetry. There we go. And we'll put a few more on here. Like so. And we will resave it. Make sure we do not have any Kerbonauts in here, because we don't want any. Shipzor. Sorry, buddy, not yet. Maybe next mission. And we will go ahead and launch this thing. Actually, first let's take a peek at where our Duna Express is in its orbit. I think that's what we called our main ship. Okay, we'll look at that actually after it finishes loading. Duna Explorer, not Duna Express. My bad. Okay, we're going to time warp so that gets a little closer so we don't have to do as much orbital maneuvering to dock with it. A little bit more. And that looks good. Let's try that. Now, if it hasn't fallen apart on the launch pad, good, it hasn't. Let's go ahead and set our SAS, throttle up, and lift off. Launch of the Duna Express, we tried out this setup for engines for the first time. I've never used that before. The reason we did that was because we do not have the mainsail unlocked. We just have the skipper engine, which is the smaller large engine, and or medium large engine. I guess the Poodle's the smaller large engine, but you know, with the skipper we have, I think it's 650 units of thrust, and with each of these is 200, so with 4 of them on there, that gives us 800 units of thrust. So it might weigh a little bit more as far as an engine design goes, but it gives us that extra thrust we need for some of these larger rockets in these early stages. This one is accelerating quite well. 70 meters per second, and we just hit 1,000 meters in altitude, so yeah, it's not flying too bad, and it's staying straight, and all the overheats just popped up. It did this when we were launching our Duna ship. I already forgot the name again. Duna Explorer, yeah. It did that the same thing. It the heat only really ever just barely ticked up, so it wasn't bad. Let's see, 1,800 meters in altitude, and we are doing 88 meters per second of liftoff speed stuff. Alright, getting ready to drop our first stage. Hopefully I have the staging set up correctly, but at least no Kerbals are at risk on this liftoff. Here we go. First one away. And dropping just a hair of speed, but that's not bad. So our bandaid ship must weigh pretty close, or well, let me rephrase. We probably got our thrust to weight ratio pretty close to the same as our Duna Explorer ship, because that's kind of how the liftoff went with that one too. Is after we drop a stage, we'd lose a little bit of speed for a few seconds, and then it would start accelerating again, like it is now. And we can live with that. Almost up to 4,000 meters in altitude, and we are at 94 meters per second, and still going in an upwards fashion. And after we dock and refuel and attach our extra parts that we wanted to attach to this, we will be on our way to Duna, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, which it doesn't necessarily always do. If you did watch the launch of the Duna Explorer, we had an issue with fuel lines on it, where the fuel lines were there, they just were not flowing like they were supposed to. One side tank emptied out, the other side did not, and it started flying lopsided, and hence why we have to bring up extra fuel anyway, because we actually expended a lot of fuel trying to get that straightened out. We did get it into orbit, but, well, obviously we're sending a refueling mission. But it was probably rather frightening experience for our Kerbal that were in the ship. Especially since one of them, I believe, was in the processing lab, so yeah, if that ship had broken apart, he would not have been having a very good day. 7,900 meters in altitude and climbing, 154 meters per second, getting ready to drop our next stage, and shortly after we will do our gravity turn. Hopefully, our fuel is transferring to this ship like it's supposed to. It appears to be. We're staying pretty straight. We really don't have that many reaction wheels on this, just these two right here, and then whatever reaction our capsule can give us, so, or whatever torque our capsule can give us. There you go. Or lander can. Whatever parts that have torque on this ship. Alright, and we will go ahead and start our gravity turn now. This ship is actually quite nice and stable so far. Alright, 13,000 meters in altitude, 184 meters per second. Our apoapsis is not that far ahead of us, so we can't do an extreme gravity turn yet, because we need more speed first. But at least we are out of the thick part of the atmosphere. (17,900 meters altitude). Our apoapsis, there we go, is starting to climb up. That's good. I might have been a little aggressive with the gravity turn up front, so, or a little too aggressive. But we are picking up speed, which is good. 21,000 meters altitude. Yeah, we're getting there, just not quite as well as I would have liked, but we're getting there. Getting ready to drop our next stage pretty soon. Yeah, I was definitely too aggressive with our gravity turn. That's okay, I think we'll still be okay. Right about now. Now, if any of you are wondering, I said I do like showing the building process, just because, like I said in one of my early videos, that's my favorite part of the game, or one of them. But just so you guys know, there's no testing involved. If I test a ship, I'll show you that testing. We build them and we just take them out and we fly them. So if a design works, it works, awesome. If it doesn't, then we will address that when it happens. Like we are now, actually, kind of, with our bandaid ship. And we really need some more speed out of this thing. Our Duna Explorer is approaching. We're not going to be too far away from it by the time we hit orbit. (50,000 meters for our apoapsis, 40,000 for our current altitude. So we're going to go ahead and turn into this gravity turn a little bit more. Probably could have went with a bigger engine in the center, but mainly I just wanted to make sure that we kept as much fuel as we could in this refueler. And that engine there is just for orbital maneuvering. If I could talk. English is an awesome language. Alright, almost at 60,000 for our apoapsis. $50,000 for our current altitude. And at least we should have plenty of fuel. Okay, time to turn over the rest of the way. Probably should have done it a little bit sooner. And kill the engines for the moment. Shouldn't drop our apoapsis too much. Wow, we're going to be actually pretty close to our Duna Explorer by the time we hit orbit. And getting ready to thrust again. Probably right about now. Looks like we've got probably about half of this big tank left. Yeah, pretty close. Almost exactly half, actually. Cool. Let's see. We are approaching our apoapsis. This probably actually should have started firing earlier, but so we are really not picking up as much speed as fast as I want. So slight miscalculation on my part. Or maybe not. I don't know. It's going to be close. Real close, actually. It's a good thing I didn't put less fuel on this, because if we had to rely on the LV909 engine to get into orbit, we might be pretty screwed. We are pretty close to out of fuel in these big tanks, but we are also pretty close to orbit. And our orbit is right about... There she goes. And let's go ahead and drop these big ones so they're not sitting there in orbit. Like so. Our little 50 units of thrust for this big section is... yeah. Should have put a bigger engine on it, but oh well. It should all work out just fine. Okay, let's go ahead and set Duna Explorer as the target. And let's see. Let's rotate around until we find our target in our nav ball. Okay, there we go. That's facing it. And I think at this point, if I thrust towards it, we're going to lose some of our altitude, but that's okay. We've got a lot of it, so let's give that a shot real quick here. Yeah, not too bad. Actually, let's wait till after we get past the periapsis so we don't lose our orbit. So we will speed up time. And since I'm in such a low orbit, we can only speed up time very slowly, apparently. Okay, we are losing some altitude. We will have to correct our orbit before this next pass, because our periapsis is actually under 70,000. But we should be fine. I think as soon as we hit above 70,000 for our altitude, I think we'll be able to time warp a little faster. I can't remember exactly where the cutoff's at. Separation at 50 and 61 on this side. We're really not that far away from our ship, so that was a pretty good launch window for that. Okay, getting close to 70,000 for our altitude. There we go. Yeah, now we can time warp a little faster. Boy, that took a while. Sorry about that. Okay, let's go ahead and bring up our periapsis. Excuse me, hopefully I covered the mic okay. Still getting over this cold, but pretty close to being over it, thank goodness. Okay, unset target for the moment. And let's get our periapsis up out of the atmosphere. And there we go. Now we can start to go ahead and get over to our other ship. Alright, now let's see, to slow down we actually need to bring up that even more. There we go, that gets us a lot closer on our next pass. So let's time warp some more. Basically I just brought up our actual orbital apoapsis in our bandaid ship, so we would have a bigger orbit than our Duna Explorer, so we would catch, or let it catch back up to us rather. Like so. Okay, and now we are actually going to let's see, I should actually probably burn straight at our target right now. Yeah, this is a pretty small engine for this big a craft. Okay, now let's find our target deorbit node or whatever it's called. I don't know. I'm kind of guessing on that one. And let's Hopefully we're not using too much fuel. Like I said before launch, I didn't want to did not want to have to refuel the refueler, because that would just kind of stink. We are currently burning towards our target. Yeah, we still got a little bit of area to cover here. 7.9 kilometers. And sorry, I'm not saying a whole lot at the moment. Just working on getting us closer. This is one of the reasons I don't always go by these marks, because at the moment we are closer than our intersect points up here. Which I don't know why it doesn't show that point where you're actually closest. Okay, and now we are starting to gain distance again, so we need to find our other mark. There we go. Before we gain too much distance anyway. We are having to use more fuel than I wanted to use, but I don't know. We'll just see what happens and how it happens. Get that pretty close to 0 and flip around. Actually, not too far around, because we are pretty close to facing our target ship. Okay, and throttle up. Current separation is 5,900 meters. There we are, getting closer. See, we're actually closer again than we would be right here, which is just odd that it does it that way. There we are. Throttle up. We are getting much closer. Okay, and let's see what that does. There we go, 0.5 kilometers. We are getting to that point where we're going to be docking pretty soon. Alright, let's bleed off our comparative speed. And it'd probably take one more burn towards our target. And kill the engine. Flip her up. Current separation is 626 meters. Okay, we should be able to see our other ship now, or at least pretty darn close. There we are. Now, how much fuel have we burnt up that we wanted to save? And where is it pulling it from? Oh, pulling it clear from up there. That's alright, we'll still be able to transfer the fuel where we need to once we get there. Alright, let's go ahead and speed up time here a second, or two, or 3 or 4, or however long it takes. Right about there. Flip over and kill our relative velocity again. That's pretty close. Alright, begin docking sequence. Two meters per second should be plenty when we're this close. Boy, and I just realized that we are over our half hour of our aim for episode time. So let me pause this, break the episode, and I will join you again. Until next episode, please like, comment, subscribe, etc., and hope you all enjoyed. I will see you next time. This is Dragon Sky. See you later.